Oh wow. Okay, that was supposed to have a little intro there, like a little 30-second intro, but apparently it did not give me that, and I don't know why. So let me just go ahead and pop this into the searches for a minute. Uh, All right, so quick copy paste jobs everywhere, like I'm a bot. There's no doubt that's what some are probably trying to accuse me of right now. Oh, bot. No, copy paste is actually a thing, guys. And forum. There we go. Anything? All right, let's make sure everything's straight here. All right. Looks like we're good to go. We're just going to kind of give everybody a few minutes to come in, and we'll start yakking about whatever you want. I've got tea brewing right now, so in the meantime, if you're right here with us right now, go ahead and let's start talking. Tell me what's on your mind. The chat is open, and of course, if you want to hop on stream with me, let me know. I'll go ahead and get you a link shot, and we'll figure out what's going on. And guess what? You can join me. We can have like up to 6 people in this thing, so anyone and everyone is definitely welcome. I know I'm washed out because of the sunlight in the window behind me. There's just no other way to do it. I wish there were. I really, really wish there were, but unfortunately, my webcam is this little thing that doesn't really turn well. So, you know, trying to get it centered is awful. Like, this is one of those little things that was probably made for a laptop. I do miss the ones that are like the ball that you can like you mount it onto the screen and you turn it whichever way you want. Those things work. Okay, the video quality wasn't great, but we're talking what, 2005 tech? And here goes my sinuses screwing with me again. After 2 days of sweet relief. And yeah, I'm just getting up to pour the water here for my tea. So you're gonna have tea with me this morning, or your coffee, or I don't care if it's a bottle of water. Come on in, come on over. Let's hang out. Oh yeah, there's like a couple other places I could post this. Let's see, just general off topic. Yeah, there we go. Pop that into there. All right. So we'll just go ahead and give that a few minutes. I think it's kind of funny. My fitness tracker tracked 114 beats per minute, Not even on the wrist. Go figure. Gotta love that. And yeah, I just found these shades, so I'm like, I'm wearing these today. I do like my wraparounds, but they tend to fog up, so definitely not wearing those. Let's see what we got. Hey, maybe invite the tribe. That would be a great thing. All right, so let's pop that in there. And perhaps the spiders would like to come on in. I think we're good. All right. I don't know why I just did that. That's going to be on the replay. And yeah, this is going to be a YouTube exclusive because, quite frankly, I can't edit anything. This program had like a little recording trial period, and then that expired after my first one. So can't post this anywhere else. Like I could probably use a third party program, just download it off of YouTube, but I'm like, I actually tried one of those and it just didn't work. Like not at all. So sorry. Um Another interesting thing, I did finally get like one of those green screens for the back of your chair. I like, to be honest, I just haven't been able to get it to work yet because my chair isn't one of those gamer chairs. It's kind of it's kind of comes up to about like, I don't know. I mean, there we go. So probably about like I can literally put my arms like this on the back of the chair. So it doesn't sit at the right height, doesn't cover the screen, so I can give you really cool, backgrounds and everything, which is what I really want to do. Hey, you're gonna hear me clear my throat a lot. That's just gonna happen. Sinus drain sucks. What can I tell you? So, hope you're having a good Saturday morning. I know I am. And this is the last Saturday morning before my vacation ends, which vacation ends tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the last day of it. And then after that, it's right back to work. And yeah, I guess I can go ahead and just kind of get that announcement out of the way, which is I don't know. I try to bring these the readings and everything to you on a consistent basis. So every morning from Monday to Friday, so 5 days a week, and then I save the weekends for like the private readings that I do. That will probably change. And that was one of the things that's one of the things that made me hesitant about yesterday. And what happened yesterday was, long story short, I was offered a promotion. Sorry. I was offered a promotion at my job, and I had some things I needed to consider first. And one of the things I had to consider was, number one, this channel. I've said this before. I don't want to monetize it because I don't want to work for Google. If I monetize this channel, that means I have to bug you I really have to step up bugging you to share this out with your friends, like, share, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, the usual bullshit, which I don't want to do. If you're here and you've been rocking with, whether you've been rocking with us from day one or you just joined in like the last couple of days, doesn't matter. When I created this channel, I decided I wasn't going to use it to bug you. I was not going to sit there and annoy the hell out of you. I also did not want to do ads because they come up at the worst possible time. They're annoying. And what's worse is if it came down to a business decision, I'm going to try to use the types of ads that would make me the most money. And that's going to be the ones you can't skip. Let's be honest. Some of my absolute favorite channels have these ads that you just can't skip over. Also, if you use an ad blocker, I'm not going to get paid because those ads don't get watched. If those ads don't get watched, that's different. So essentially monetization opens up a can of worms that I just don't want any part of. And I know there are people that are making an absolute living on YouTube. Some people have hired entire crews, to produce their videos, and those videos are absolutely amazing. Some people are still just one-person shows. That happens. But I never wanted to monetize this. So that meant I had to keep my job. And when they offered, now lately, like when I got my last raise, it kept me kind of ahead of the curve. It's not really doing that anymore. The curve is like slowly catching up to me. So when they offered me the promotion, naturally it was like, you kind of need it. Go ahead, do it. And I talked to a few people. We just, we chatted about it and we mulled over some details. And for the most part, everybody was like really encouraging, go ahead and do it. I can't imagine why anyone would not, I don't know why anyone would say otherwise. However, there was one person who said otherwise and gave their reasons. But I don't see why a multitude of people would tell you, yeah, you know what, don't take the more money. I don't see why anyone would say that. But anyway, what gave me hesitation was this channel. Because I can, I'm not actually changing employers. I'm changing jobs. There's kind of a difference here. So I was working in a pharmacy. I'm now going to be working on the front end of everything as a shift lead. So, or at least if everything gets approved, I just accepted the offer. And that means this channel could see readings happening a little bit later in the day. Could be. Could be that we see readings happening in the morning. That could happen. I might actually have to just, go ahead and shoot them, chop them, score them, shoot them into the uploads and, bail out the door. So wherever it is you're subscribed on, whether it's my channel here or on BitChute, CloutHub, Rumble, or Odyssey. Now I'm kind of stressing it. Be subscribed and be ready for notifications if you want to stay up to date, because having to wait on those links, get them into it. You know what? Let me share something with you. I'll share a little something. Let me share screen. Well, no kidding. Sharing screen is easiest with two monitors. Well, yeah. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull up. Oh, okay. Pull up Notepad. Oops. Yeah, you're going to get a look at, you're going to get a little behind the scenes look at my operation here. Okay, here we go. Granted, it has everything from last week, but this is the point. There are hashtags up here, hashtags here, summary here. If you want to know how that gets written, that's very simple. After the after the reading is done, I will shoot an entire photo of it and send it over here to my computer via Pushbullet. And so I get to look at this, write this, come up with a title for it, and then I have everything up here ready. So got CloutHub, I got YouTube, Rumble, oh yeah, BitChute, all this. And I'm literally copying and pasting everything. Then I'm copying and pasting links into this. So I have a line. So those links that you see every morning, that this is where they come from. And if you're on Speak Your Mind Here now, speakyourmindhere.com, I have embed codes because it is kind of annoying to have to click off of the site when you can just watch it right there. And they appear pretty well on the site anyway. So, so I do have all of this. But the thing is, I have to wait on two sites. Odyssey, because it has a tendency to hang up, and it has to process, and it has to do all that, and BitChute, because where you see it, where it says here visible published, guess what? Some days it's process and publish, and it a couple days ago it was like that for hours. I don't have time to wait. You know, got a job I got to get to, and guess what that means? That means I got to kind of put that first. So, I don't know if did you guys actually see that? I don't know if you did or not. Oh, no, you did. Shit. Okay. Growing pains here, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. See what we got. Okay, so Elsa, you putting together a campaign? No. I'm about to show you. I finally got the screen share thing. I'm still learning this program. I really don't want to go OBS because, quite honestly, I hear it's a steep learning curve to do one simple thing. You got to do about 10 million things to learn it. I'm like, no thanks. All right, so here's the process for this channel. This is why there are some days where you either don't get a video or you get a video late. Here's why. If you're following me on social media, let's see, Sup Manly Man, what's up, Phil Brigg? If you're following me on social media, I have, let me show you here. Okay, my channel. Here we go. So this is what my channel looks like on CloutHub. This is where my evangelical fan base is. So upload video, go to the next one, do the same thing. Next one, same thing. Rinse, repeat. You get the picture. This is what this entire note card or notepad right here. There's your title. Right here is the synopsis I have to write up, and that comes from here. I'll take a picture using my phone here, brand new one. So after I've given you the reading, I'll hover over that and take a picture, and then I'll send it via a program called Pushbullet to my computer. That image pops up. Then I come up with the title, the synopsis, title, and then of course, I have to adjust these hashtags every morning. Sometimes I don't do it right. You guys have seen that. And what ends up happening is a lot of copying and pasting going on. And then I have to wait for those videos to properly upload. I have to wait for them to go live, because then I'm getting the links, which are all right here. All this stuff right here. And that's so I can go ahead and start copying and pasting it into all the social media to promote it. And then I've got one more site where it's just this, and then these embed codes, one right after the other. Now, after that, I'm done. That's it. I post those one time. I just let it go. There it is. And then, of course, I'll come back and I'll just kind of have a look at how they're doing occasionally. I'm just looking at the view counts here just to see. I'm not going back and watching this stuff myself, obviously. And I just kind of see how they're doing, like this video for yesterday for the weekend, 2 views on Rumble. Up until then, I was consistently getting like double digits. Then they dropped to nothing. So, and here you get 1 or 2. It's fine. But wherever you are, if you're just joining us, I just announced that I did take a promotion at work. And that promotion will mean that things are going to be a little, could be a little inconsistent. The bi-weekly live stream thing that I had planned, well, that's up in the air now. And it's because I'm going from an 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. time frame, and it's getting stretched out to 11 to 7. And then during the holiday season, it's like, I think it's like 7 a.m. to midnight or something like that. It's crazy. Like, the pharmacy doesn't get those extended hours. Just the front end does. But it was more money, and I'm like, okay, yep, I gotta take it, because I never wanted to monetize this thing. Now, this is probably going to get just a touch unstable. So just be prepared for that. Now, I may not be able to do anything other than shoot, chop, score, upload. So if you're really intent on keeping up with the videos, subscribe, share them out to your friends, hit that notification bell wherever you are, whether it's CloutHub, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, or Odyssey. Do that, and you'll get the updates. If not, my viewer count's probably going to suck for a little while. It's perfectly fine. That's okay. Plenty of people have seen it. We're actually okay. Right now, I think I'm sitting on about 122 subscribers just on this YouTube channel alone. So let's see what's going on here. I've seen OBS give people nightmares. I would not doubt that. But I've seen people use it and use it really well, and it's really nice. But it doesn't have this feature where I could put you there. See what else we got. OBS is the pain in the globulars. I wouldn't, like I said, not doubting it, not in the least. Am I still on time? What did I miss? Nothing other than the announcement that I took a promotion at my job. I'm changing jobs, but not employers, which, Stein, you already know about that, because we talked about that yesterday. So, moving up in the world, making the big money. Yes. Well, it is a significant pay increase. Let's put it that way. It's a very significant pay increase. And here's the irony of it. I'm not going to say what it is, but I knew I could make the same money by staying right where I am. Here's the thing. I will have to successfully jump through about 2 or 3 hoops for that to happen. Or I can get it immediately once everything gets approved. And I was like, kind of need a little sooner than later. Kind of need to outpace what's kind of creeping up on me. So that's why I took it. Let's see what else we got. Does that include search prioritization wizardry? Search prioritization, if you hit the thumbs up button, that would help. That will get, I know it will get me to possibly your front page. I don't know about everyone else, but that would definitely help. So, yeah, our boy been making that dough. Yeah, yeah. And I'll be honest with you, what I was offered was probably the highest amount highest dollar amount per hour I've ever made. I can tell you this: I made almost $1 less after working 7 years at the prison, and I've been working about 5 or 6 for this company. Let that sink in. One job I was working in prison for like almost, well, actually, yeah, no. Yeah, it was almost 7 years, and I worked there for about 8.5. So crazy, isn't it? That I can work retail for a few years, get paid a little bit better than what I was at a prison where my life was literally, on the line every time I went in. And don't get me wrong, that's a place where either you walk away with a really overinflated sense of self-importance, or you walk away with a really twisted sense of humor, or a drinking problem. That's also something that occurs. I've seen that. I've even seen drug problems. They're not good. Not good. Better to walk away with a sense of humor. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, it comes with some pain in the ass. Not even gonna lie. The pain in the ass part is, of course, the extended holiday hours are going to be one thing. Then there's the holiday stuff itself. You're pretty much work. There's like, I think we get pretty adequate compensation for those holidays that we work. So, I can't really complain about that. If I'm getting like a time and a half or something like that just for working an 8-hour shift during the holiday, well, hey, pay my ass. I'm good with that. So yeah, the reason I bring all that up, just to kind of cut it short, was really it's about it more had to do with how that's probably going to affect this channel. So that's what the announcement here on this channel was. So if you're catching it now, that's exactly why I went into that long-winded, here's the process for my videos and stuff like that, because I do everything myself: set up, shoot, chop, score, breakdown, upload. I don't have a staff. It's just what has 2 thumbs and runs this channel. This guy. So let's see. Twisted sense of humor, heightened sense of self-importance, drinking problem. Sounds like your average chef in the kitchen. Would that include people like Gordon Ramsay? And I'll be honest, I like the guy. I really do. I think he is an absolute howl to watch. But yeah, Gordon Ramsay. Very, you could tell there is a heightened sense of self-importance with him, but it's because he's good and he knows it. And watching him absolutely lose his shit on somebody is it's pretty entertaining sometimes. But anyway, next thing. If anybody wants, I said this before, I'll go ahead and say it again. If anybody wants to like jump in and talk with me here, just send me like a hand up, and I'll go ahead and I'll get you LinkedIn. But anyway, making those idiot sandwiches. Yeah. What is this? What is this? It's an idiot sandwich. Yes, it is. It's a fucking idiot sandwich. I still, I will, I cannot remember what show it was he was doing, but this was such comic gold. He just, like, very calmly, why did the chicken cross the road? Because you didn't fucking cook it! You know, oh God, I was dying. That had me, I'm pretty sure I sprayed Pepsi everywhere after that one. I probably shouldn't have been drinking. I probably should have had a mouthful of that. But anyway, yeah, yeah. Schedule with the videos might get a little wonky, so we're just going to prepare for that. So now it's kind of on you, my audience, to do your due diligence. You know, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, no matter where it is you watch, whether it's on Cloud Hub, BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, YouTube, any of that, because I probably won't have the time to sit there and send out promotional links, especially since BitChute and Odyssey have kind of been acting up a little bit lately. BitChute more than Odyssey, but definitely Odyssey is in that boat as well. Let's see. You use so much oil, the U.S. is trying to invade your pan. Oh, fucking oof. That's a good one. Use so much oil, the U.S. is trying to invade your pan. Yeah. Yeah, we did that. No pride in it. We did that shit. But yeah, I had a couple other ideas. So on top of taking notes for Greyhorn, which I'm still actively doing, I'm still keeping a lot of stuff very kind of like contained. Got a couple other ideas. One I'm working on, which everyone knows about, Selected Scenes from the End of the World, which will be a book of 10 candles, optional rules, and settings. More settings than optional rules. Number two, I don't really have a title for it just yet, but there's one. I really want to make it like I do want to make a horror game, and I want it to be one of those types of horror games that when someone runs it, his or her player should be walking away from the table going, "What the fuck did I just play?" Yeah, I mean, we're talking true horror, and that's kind of where I'm aiming. So I thought about it, and what inspired it was Hellraiser Inferno. Hellraiser Inferno really inspired that because it plays it so straight, like this hard-boiled noir detective thriller, but then there's these elements of the surreal that just kind of keep popping out, and then by the end of it, you get the big reveal, and it's you know, well, fuck it, spoiler alert. So he's been dead the whole time. He's in his own personal hell. Big reveal there. Pretty good. It's sort of like the ending of Jacob's Ladder, where Jacob has returned home from Vietnam. He's working as a postal worker, but he keeps seeing all these weird, surreal things. All these things are happening to him. And then, big reveal later is that the whole time all that's been happening, it's been happening in his head because he's been dying. Wild stuff. Those are the kind of movies that, like I watched Jacob's Ladder as a kid and I was like, what the hell was that? I didn't quite get it until I watched it a little bit later on in life. And now the first time I watched it since I was a kid, I was just kind of like, oh, that's fucking wild. Okay. That's ugh. That's not something I don't think anyone really wants to, wants that as an experience. But I started taking notes on that yesterday. I did come up with another setting for selected scenes. Here's my question: what do you guys want to see in a horror game? Like if you had it to play, I know like Silent Hill is very much that kind of a thing, but Silent Hill has kind of deviated from um, its own canon about what Silent Hill actually is. And it's with the multiple endings and everything, I can hardly tell. Still good though. I mean, you're walking around what seems to be a ghost town, and then suddenly the bell chimes and everything decays, and it's a hellscape. And I think that's cool. But it also, like with me, I like to kind of play it straight, have those little elements of the surreal, because one of the notes I had to write down was when everything is weird, nothing is, because then it just becomes normal. So I would really love to know from you guys, what would you like to see in a horror game? What are some of the most mind-numbing phobias that you can like? What would absolutely just make you freeze or absolutely shit your pants? Like if you heard it, if you saw it, if you smelled it, stuff like that. Oh, here we go. Let's see what we got. Horror games, it helps to have diminishing resources so the player feels pressure. Yeah, yeah, diminishing resources is definitely a thing. Diminishing resources actually came up in the scenario, the setting that I just wrote for selected scenes. And that particular scenario, it ramps up the paranoia, because the whole thing is, do you have a saboteur among your party? Do you have someone working for them? Is someone, either one of them or sympathetic to them, a worshiper of them? You never know. And it's that's one of those scenarios where just about at every turn, you're trying to get from the small town, from my lockdown in the dollhouse setting, Caldwell, California, to a military base. I think I'm setting it in Colorado. I'm going to have to look again. And you have to board a bus. You have to get out of town. You have to get to this military base, right? But someone among your party may be a saboteur. So you got to find out if someone is. If they are, you got to deal with them. And, you got to make an attempt to survive here. Let's see. I like psychological horror, the kind that messes with your mind and has you constantly nervous about everything. Yeah, existential dread. That was Lovecraft's wheelhouse. That was definitely his wheelhouse. I mean, I've pulled this down on a podcast before. I'll do it again. Barnes & Noble collectible editions, ladies and gentlemen. They are wonderful, wonderful things. And this is the complete fiction. So every bit of fiction Lovecraft wrote, it's right here in this book. And I really, really wish Barnes & Noble would come out with a classics edition of this guy. Because this is a completely fictional work, people. I bought this game for use in some of my role-playing games. So when I get some evil wizards, something's coming out of here, And not that big of a book, about the size of a paperback novel. I actually had a copy of this before, back in the 90s, and it had a black cover and looked really cool. I don't know what they were thinking with this. Let's go yellow. Yeah, let's not. Listed as astrology and occult. I don't know. There are people that believe in that. Uh, that's fine. I'm just using it as like a role playing game supplement, and that's about it. But yeah. Have you ever seen Jacob's Ladder? Like, if you haven't, go watch the 1990 version with Tim Robbins. There's an uncredited Macaulay Culkin in there playing his son. It can be super confusing at times, but if you stick with it, like if you actually sit down and just focus your attention, this movie is like super great. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, I probably already spoiled it, but I mean, and tell you what happens in between. It's fucked up. And I heard they remade it and it just didn't work as well. So, yeah, I started working on that. Grabbed a couple 5-star notebooks full of graph paper. I'm probably going to start drawing up some dungeons just to kind of practice that. Still working on the map of Thula. So Thula's map is still being worked on and still being kind of poked and prodded until I'm happy with it. Then I'll ink it, then I'll scan it, and I'll keep a digital file of it. And someone suggested this to me. In fact, Mira over on Twitter suggested the Rocket Book. Have you guys heard of this? The Rocket Book is basically a reusable notebook. So you can write all your notes, take a picture with your phone. It takes all the text that you wrote, and then it types all of it out for you, saves it in PDF. I was like, I like that idea. What's in that Necronomicon book? Actually, believe it or not, let me grab this. This ought to blow your head off. Let's see. Go to YouTube. Hey, Tea with Raven is live on the very front page, at least to me. Aha, here we go. Audiobook. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do this. We're going to pause that. Really want to know what's in it? There we go. There's your YouTube link. It's right there in the chat. So you can check it out at your leisure rather than trying to read all this yourself. Basically, it is this was written in the 1920s, and it says here, Cthulhu calls. There are primeval forces that were worshipped and summoned long before the creation of the Kabbalah, and there are ancient ones of the Sumerian faith, and they live on in the magic of Aleister Crowley and the mythos of H.P. Lovecraft. They wait beyond the gate, ready to rule the earth once again. This long-lost sorcerer's handbook contains incantations and conjurations, exorcisms and bindings. They are not to be used lightly. We can only guess what horrible fate prevented Abdul al-Hazred from completing this Book of the Black Earth. And remember, there are no effective banishings for the forces invoked in the Necronomicon. And of course, Fate magazine says the Necronomicon's magic is nothing to fool with and may expose you to psychological forces with which you cannot cope. Remember, if you tinker with the incantations, you were warned. And there's also a couple other books. The Necronomicon Spell Book and the Gates of the Necronomicon. So, let's see. And of course, there's all kinds of stuff here. Testimony of the Mad Arab, that's Abdul al-Hazred. the book of entrance into walking, the incantations of the gates, the conjuration of the fire god, the conjuration of the watcher, so on and so forth. So that's this book. Like I said, do I believe that this actually works? Not really. Not at all. I know one thing, that Lovecraft stories were basically his take on, a bit of cosmology and some nihilistic existential dread. So I don't really put a lot of stock into something that spawned from a work of fiction. Just, is what it is. But I mean, if there are people out there that believe it, they practice it, and hey, have at it. It's all yours. Me, I would use something like that. I would probably even reword the incantations to something a little more commonly understood, and maybe today's terms. That would make it a little more worthwhile to me, I think. But having that kind of cosmic horror element, I think, would be. I think that could be a lot of fun, especially if it plays on the psychological. I would love that. For that, believe it or not, Actual Fucking Monsters by Grim Jim. It's 2 books, Actual Fucking Monsters and Actual Fucking Monsters Companion. And the thing is, when you're reading that book, and I have, you do understand that most of the monsters in this book are actually human. And if you want to get a sense of what that's like, check out Clive Barker's Nightbreed, or his story Cabal, because that's what that's about. So all these hideous looking humanoid beings going to another being that's connected to all this stuff called Baphomet, and they're holed up in a city in a graveyard called Midian. And the worst monsters, the actual monsters, are just the humans. Like, they're the worst monsters of all, because they come to Midian, aggressing Midian, and Midian has to defend itself, with its magics and all this other stuff. So great movie. If you get a chance, check it out. It's very entertaining. But I kind of thought, writing down some notes. I got a notebook literally dedicated to nothing but horror notes. So selected scenes from the end of the world, notes for this horror game, all going to be in that thing. Once I finish filling that up, then I'll probably get a Rocket book at some point. Rocket books are a little more expensive, though. That you have to use the Pilot friction pens with them, and then you can literally just wipe the pages clean. There's nothing there. I think that's fantastic. Personally, though, when it comes to that kind of thing, I do like to have paper, paper and pen. Call me old school if you want, but I can sit here in front of a word processor, and sometimes it just comes out. Most times when I get an idea off that last idea, suddenly, I'm drawing a blank and I have no idea why. Couldn't tell you. But then you put a notebook and a pen in front of me, and I'll sit there and I'll just write all day long. And since these are notes, they're just going to be scribbles and, stuff like that. Not every idea is going to be great. In fact, not every idea is probably going to make it into that book. But every idea is going to be given some consideration. Let's see what we got here. Nightbreed is the only movie I walked out of. I couldn't take it when the guy started cutting his head. Eek. Managed to watch it on video later. Yeah, that part where, oh, yeah, oh, and hey, here's another one. Speaking of horror movies, um, there's a movie called Event Horizon. I don't know if any of you have seen this movie, but this was made back in 1997. So a lot of the music, the title opening, it's very 90s. This is one of my absolute favorite sci-fi horror movies out there. I know a lot. There are a lot of people who love Alien. Guess what, guys? I have the Alien RPG by Freely Publishing, and Moots gave me that. She couldn't be here today. I'm thinking I would love to do a live stream with her tomorrow because we haven't done a live stream in a long time. We used to live stream all the time, at least once a week on High Notes and do like tarot card pulls and readings and stuff. And we haven't done that in ages. I was really hoping she could be here today. She couldn't. I asked, and no, she's got other things to do today. So I was like, oh, damn. But anyway, Alien. I know there are a lot of people who love that very first movie. I'm more of a fan of the second movie. I love that action, and there's still that horror element to it, and it was the first one I saw, to be honest with you, and that's why I love it so much. But Alien is good. I love it. You got a space trucker who had to, she's just out there to make a living. She had to get tough really quick, and she didn't get it right. That's why there was a sequel. But yeah, so that is such a good movie. Yeah. But Event Horizon, going back to that for a minute, I caught this because I am on Troll Lord Games email list. Got an email yesterday. And they have a book, which I will try to find here. First Alien was horror, second was action, third should have been a musical. I think they tried to recapture the feel of the first one, and it didn't work out for a couple reasons. And if you check out Joe Blow on Twitter, not on Twitter, here on YouTube, they actually have a series called What the Fuck Happened to This Movie? And that was one of the things they talk about. What the fuck happened to Alien 3? And you get a lot of insight into why that movie turned out the way it did. It really should not have been like that. Not at all. But the email from Troll Lord Games was, get this classic RPG. And I was like, okay, what is this? So, rise to the challenge of the Starship Warden at 60% off MSRP while supplies last. MSRP for this game, $79.99. Cost to you, $31.99. 650 pages, hardcover, complete sci-fi setting, complete game within, based on Metamorphosis Alpha. It gave me a code to use at the checkout, and it said there will be no second print. 650 pages, ladies and gentlemen. That is one chunky fucking book. That is colossal. But here's the thing. Let me read you the synopsis for this. How anybody got... Good grief. I don't know how anybody writes a game this freaking big. Get ready for this one. Oh, by the way, it says purchase the Warden and get the deck expansions for free. There are 30 still available. So go, if you want this game, sign up to Troll Lord Games email list, and I'm pretty sure you'll get a coupon code there. Because I did, I'm not going to lie, I tried to share mine and it didn't work. But anyway. Here's the description. They designed the Starship Warden to house, feed, and clothe over 1 million people. To do this, the designers outfitted this massive ship, miles long and miles wide, to serve as a home for people, offering up quarters and cafeterias, restaurants, and malls, all intermingled with a host of features to mimic Earth-like conditions, from artificial lakes to fields of crops. Her maiden voyage began with hopes and dreams of a future like nothing humanity had ever seen. But that was long ago. There's been no contact between the Warden and Earth for many long years, for on the ship something went horribly awry. Radiation leaks, singularity, mutations, madness. What it was, only the inhabitants could say. Whatever it was, her inhabitants, those that lived, dwell in a world of wanton despair, and when they were not preying upon one another, they fight beastly mutants, cyborgs, self-aware robotic humanoids, and all the other creatures who vie for the precious resources of the beleaguered starship. It is your time now. Rise in the chaos of the Warden and bend its apocalypse to your will, or be ground away in the lonely quiet of deep space. To me, that sounded a lot like Event Horizon, with the exception that you're not finding this ship. You're on it. And you've been part of this thing right here for a little while. I'll post that link to the Starship Warden right there. Let's see here. When I watched Alien 3 in cinema, people laughed at me because I jumped out of my skin and yelped like a little girl during the titles when the glass cracked. I had a lot of questions. I really did. Like, okay, so the face hugger, it's supposed to attach, ram its ovipositor down your throat, and implant an egg in your chest. After that, the thing dies and it falls away. It comes off and it goes off to die. Okay, well, Ripley was in the cryotube. And the thing we saw landed on the cryotube. We saw the glass crack. But that's it. That's all we saw. We never saw anything else. And we know that same face hugger got a dog. And there was an alien that came out of the dog. How the hell did it implant the egg into Ripley? Because that part made absolutely no sense. Plus, with how quickly they gestated in Aliens, what took so long with her? I have to wonder that. Personally, I liked Alien Resurrection myself. I know there are some people that hated that movie. I'm not among them. So what we got? Warden is a great mythos and a cool twist on the colony ship. Yes. Yes, it is. And I ordered a copy. And here's the thing. After shipping, it costs less than $40. 650 pages. I'm wondering where the hell I'm going to put that. That is a big old chunk of a book. And no, I still have the Chalt series coming. I still have Lilin Collie, which I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Lilin Collie's coming. I've got the Dungeon Crawl Classics version of the Dark Tower coming. That's probably coming sometime next year, because that Kickstarter concluded a while back. I've got a special deluxe edition of Arcanus Runic Edition coming. So it's like second edition of that. And that's a setting for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, which Pedro, the lead game designer over at Paradigm, talked to me about playtesting a game, and he asked me, "Have you ever played 5th edition?" I was like, "No," but I always make the clarification. I'm not averse to it. The core books are fine. The starter sets are okay. I think most people would do better. Like, if you really want an intro into 5th edition, get the Essentials kit, play from there. There's nothing wrong with starting with, like, you could get a starter set, the original one, the one with the big red dragon on the cover, and the Essentials kit, and you'll be okay. Lost Mines of Phandelver is actually a pretty good adventure from what I read of it. And the Essentials kit has more of an open world feel. So with the starter set, Lost Mines of Phandelver, which is it's a great adventure, and if you have D&D Beyond, you can pretty much get the adventure for free. That's one I say if you really want a starter into, you want the introduction into the bare basic rules of 5th edition D&D, go with Lost Mines of Phandelver. It's actually pretty cheap right now, especially since that new starter set came out, which doesn't quite give you as much. Still okay though. I mean, am I going to get it? Possibly. I don't know. I have the original starter set and the essentials kit, but I also have the beginner box for Shadowrun, which I don't like to advertise for them anymore. I have the Jumpstart kit for Cyberpunk, and I think that's about everything. I got a lot of Cyberpunk too, guys. It's yeah. Something else that came up, Mike Pondsmith, who wrote Cyberpunk, is, in my opinion, a genius. And I shared a video out. I don't know how many people watched it, but it was a couple videos. It was the timeline for Cyberpunk between 1990 and 2020. And then there was another one called What Cyberpunk, eerie predictions from Cyberpunk that came true. And they were just going off Cyberpunk 2020, which was published back in 1988. This book is almost like, 40 years old. And some of the predictions in there, some of the things that they talk about in society absolutely happened. In my opinion, Mike Pondsmith is a genius. And here's the thing. When Cyberpunk 2077 was coming, there was one of this sort of cybernetic woman in a bathtub. It's one scene of that. And I think she's supposed to be someone you're supposed to protect. And what ended up happening was naturally some people got really up in arms about it, including Anita Sarkeesian, naturally, because why not? And she basically invited herself to become part of CD Projekt Red's team. It was like, wait, what? And CD Projekt Red and R. Talsorian Games, both of them were very diplomatic in their responses. And she kept insisting until they told her, I think it was Mike Pond, she accused the creator, Mike Pondsmith, of being racist, sexist, but istophobe, naturally. You can tell these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? Because Mike Pondsmith is a black guy. I mean, come on. Naturally. I was sitting there like, jeez. Let's see. Cyberpunk was eerily accurate. Yes, it was. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to go through the Time of the Red. That is a dark timeline. I'm talking dark. Holy shit, that's dark. And it is, in fact, their darkest timeline. I mean, still cool, still style over substance. It really doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. As long as you look cool doing it. And if you botch, just make it look like you meant to do that. I dig that. That's like, you can't fault the rocker boy for starting a riot, right? Even if he didn't mean to. So if Johnny Silverhand doesn't start a riot outside Arasaka, he didn't mean to do it. Well, he can just tell you, oh yeah, meant to do that. Meant to end my music career on a bang. There you go. I'd like to think there are other games out there probably made a lot of the same predictions. I I know this isn't tabletop RPG, but this is video games. The Metal Gear series. I know after a while it just became like some masturbatory project for Hideo Kojima, but let's face facts. Memetic warfare, war via memes. That's a thing now. And that was from a game that was popular back in 2003, 2004. So we're talking almost 20 years later. Memetic warfare has been a thing for like the past I don't know. Well, probably since about 2012. The memes just started flying. They became serious business. What's up, Bob? What you doing? Yeah, you're making kitty face. Ain't nobody got a camera on you, so cats, man. They gotta come in, they gotta hang out, right? It's all good. Speaking of which, we're talking about these. I guess Could you call Cyberpunk like a major entertainment IP? I would love to see a Cyberpunk movie. I would love to see a series. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Not a movie. Make it a series, not a Netflix series. Okay, make it a series for something like, I don't know, Tubi. That would really in my opinion, that would put Tubi on the map. And you could have Keanu Reeves in it for a little while as Johnny Silverhand. I think it would work. But just a little tip to CD Projekt Red, or Telsorian Games. Keanu Reeves is a musician. The guy was in a band at the height of his acting career. It's called Dog Star. Check it out. He played bass, but I think I could tell that the lead singer for Refuse sounds nothing like Johnny Silverhand's speaking voice. So that would be like me talking to you now, and then suddenly I say I'm going to sing something, and Danny Filth's voice comes out of my mouth. You're going to tell. No, that's not him. But yeah, Cyberpunk being eerily accurate, I think making a series for Tubi, like a Tubi exclusive, would be awesome. I mean, there's so many things you could explore with that. So many different character tales you could tell. You've got all kinds of cool stuff. Like Johnny Silverhand's definitely a rocker boy. You have Tom McDonald in there as a rocker boy street poet. I mean, that guy is like living large. Put him in there. I think he would actually do it. I think he would. Who else can we get in there? Anybody think of I think Ving Rhames would be good in that movie. Ving Rhames will make a hell of a fixer who employs solos. Yeah, his turn as Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction is definitely a kind of it would be a little bit of a nod to that. I think it would work. Hell, grab that actor from Vikings, the one who played Ragnar. I know his name's like Travis something or other. Yeah, get him. He could definitely play like a solo. And maybe get Harrison Ford in there as a media. He kind of strikes me as that kind of dude. I don't know. Put Joe Pesci in there. That'd be kind of good. I'm sitting there doing all-star casting for Cyberpunk here. And I don't know. Who else? I mean, we've got medias, we got rocker boys, we got solos, we got fixers, net runners. Who was that girl from Girl with a Dragon Tattoo? Get her. Stuff like that. And yeah, I think you could make these people look a little weird because, quite frankly, that society does have it's very superficial. So yeah, they can kind of jazz themselves up any way they want. It'll save you a bundle on makeup and hair. Especially if you do them like they did Heath Ledger, let them go and make up their own style, and then just have the makeup artist copy that. With some exceptions, of course. Yeah, Cyberpunk series for Tubi would definitely be cool. But going back to what I was saying before, I'm trailing way off. Role playing games based on major IPs, I tend to not buy those. And the reason I say that, like, let's take for example, like the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth RP. That one, the One Ring, I have not picked up, and it's because I've got the canon sitting right up here on my shelf. The Hobbit, all three Lord of the Rings books by J.R.R. Tolkien. These little bitty leather bound type editions, which I love them. They are oh so good, and got them at a great price too. I'll just move all the stuff out of the way here. Try to get okay. So the Legend of Sigurd and Guthrum wants to come down too, but yeah. Am I a Lord of the Rings fan? You damn right I am. And what I really love about it comes in a slipcover too, but look at that. They're not very big. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to hold it up just like this. You can see it's literally just impressed into the leather. And that's the text. So yeah, small text. But I mean, it's not hard to read. They're about the size of like a little paperback novel, but these are kind of like leatherback, so I'm good with that. I'm excellent with it. On top of that, I mean, look at that. That is just beautiful. That's just gorgeous. I like the spines kind of facing me though. It just makes a lot more sense. But anyway, I don't play those because of that canon. And here's the thing. I mean, even if my character were to do something monumental to thwart Sauron's evil plans, I know I'm never going to be part of that canon. It could be my ego speaking, but there it is. Blade Runner, on the other hand, I'm never going to be one of the main characters in that one. But, Blade Runner is more of a profession than it is a character. So, retiring a few replicants sounds pretty good. G.I. Joe. I know I'm never going to be Snake Eyes, and that's fine, but G.I. Joe, I took a look at the flip through of that one, and it looks really good. And G.I. Joe, you get to interact with at least some of the main characters from whoever I don't know what they call the GM in that game, a table sergeant? I don't know. I know Sergeant Slaughter and Storm Shadow are not in this game, which is great because I would totally love to play the role of Sergeant Slaughter. Listen up, maggots! That would be awesome. Nice books, hard to beat Dead Tree versions. Yes. This is why, I'll be honest with you, my digital library is still leaps and bounds bigger than my physical. I still love to buy physical books. At one point, I used to be like, man, look, I could just read it on my phone. It's fine. And then, I don't know if it has happened, but if it hasn't, someone's thought of it. And that means one of the major companies has thought of it. And I've noticed this shift towards services like, well, you could just you can go with this service and you can read as many books as you want. Yeah, but I'll never own any. And there has been that shift. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Spotify, but you know what? There is a really, really good reason. Let's see. I'm going to show you something. There's a really good reason I still have music on a little card in my phone. I've never noticed that little flash before. See what I'm talking about? Yeah, I've never seen that. That's crazy. Okay, well there's something, but yeah. There's an entire reason. Like Spotify sits down here. I've got my Audible here, music right there, and also Hoopla down here. And if you're not an Audible type of person, check your local library and see if they participate in Hoopla. If they do, you basically have the entire library with you. I don't see a real point in subscribing to a library service when the library it's already a thing. And I've got tons and tons and tons of ebook. My cyber library it's absolutely massive. Like there are books there I'm probably never going to be able to get to read. I've got books up here, which you know what? Let me clear this off. I'll just show you I'll show you the shelf up here. Just I warn you, never mind the Batmobiles. All right, so I'm gonna take you over here with me. Come with me, and you'll see a world of pure imagination. That's my book. That's the bookshelf on my hutch. And I know some of these titles are a little hard to see, but there you go. As you can tell, I love folk tales, fairy tales, stuff like that. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that little look. I've also got a shelf on my altar, which I've taken pictures of that and shared it out on Twitter. But also my tarot decks live there on the last two shelves. And then I got two cabinets that are sitting here. I'm not going to lie, they're a little packed out right now. But if I remove certain things, I'll probably be able to make room. What's this? Individual songs on Spotify come and goes, licenses change, it screws up your playlist. Yes. Oh my god, that is like one of the most annoying things ever. And here's what the real impetus behind me purchasing physical media again was I found a compilation of some of Motley Crue's greatest hits, and they had a few songs on there, but I'm sorry, I gotta adjust this. Gotta adjust this. It's the cable is kind of short, and I have to run it. I know this is probably like super disorienting right now, but it is what it is. I'm just trying to get this thing situated, and it's just kind of. I wish I could just set it all the way over here. Maybe I can. Yeah, I mean, I've got a cord running. Let's go. There we go. Okay. Maybe I can fish this cord around the. Yeah. One man show, everyone. Okay. But yeah, I'm trying to figure this thing out. See, the real problem is that window. That window is the cause of all my grief right now. Let's see. But yeah, Motley Crue, sort of like a greatest hits compilation album. There it was, and it had a few songs that I remembered. And there was a greatest hits CD that I had on cassette. A friend of mine had it on CD, and we, even though we weren't really like diehard Crue fans, we listened to that CD a lot, and it had a lot of my favorites on there. And it was called Decade of Decadence. This is one of my absolute favorite compilations. I actually had this thing on cassette. I had a tape player in my car, and I was dating a girl named Angie. She's my like third or fourth girlfriend. I don't know. I'm barely into my 20s at the time. I said, "Oh, I've got something for you. I've got something for you." She's like, "Yeah, what?" I was like, "I got a song I'm dedicating strictly to you." And she's like, "Oh, okay." I put that tape in, and the song Angela plays. As soon as Vince Neil comes on over the music, the tape gets ejected and tossed out my window. I freaked out. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" She's like, "I hate Motley Crue." I hadn't been able to find that album since. Fast forward to like, I don't know, maybe about a year and a half ago, I'm in Fidelity Records, and they had it on CD. The CD is pristine, and it was like, I don't know, $5-6. I picked it up. But it's because the Motley Crue, this particular album, you're not going to find it on Spotify. Plus, it had my favorite version of Kickstart My Heart, which was a live version from Dallas, Texas back in the day. And you can hear as the song really kicks in, there's this whoosh. So the pyros went off, and so you could kind of hear that. You could hear the whole crowd pop from it. It was amazing. Love that album. Absolutely love it. May not love every song on it, but love that album. It's great. And yeah, got it right here on my phone. Found some Lorena McKennitt CDs, which I love her music too. Threw those on there. I've got let's see if I can't move this. Jesus. Hopefully, you know what? Can I make it? Okay. If I sit right here, I think I'm okay, right? Y'all can see everything? Should have made a U-turn. Just kicked her out of the car. Right? Yeah. Unfortunately, it was kind of a busy stretch of highway. Let's put it this way: there was no saving the tape. I mean, when she whipped it out of the car. I can give you an example because I do have some cassettes up here. She took it out of the car, and then she went right out the window, and I heard it boop 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 along the back side of my car, and I saw it in the rear view tire. The tire of the car behind us caught it. That's when I freaked out. I was like, "Are you fucking insane?" And she's like, "I hate Motley Crue," and I'm like, "I get that, but don't you think you could have just turned it off and said so, and I'd have put something else in?" I did have a CD player in the car. I could have just, tape adapted that thing in, and we could have played. But, God damn it! But yeah, that's like nothing. This is the thing I'm going to tell you. When it comes to media like that, Is it convenient? Is it cost effective? It's a great way to try before you buy. That much is true. I mean, $10 a month on Spotify, you listen to as much as you want. Ooh, I like this, that, and the third band. Hey, go to your record store, see if they can get them. Plus, it introduces you to weird forms of music too, like satanic doo-wop. I wish I were joking. I am totally 100% serious. Satanic doo-wop. It is, yeah, it's a laugh factory. It really is. I listened to some of it and I can't stop laughing. It's too funny. But anyway, there's stuff like that. You know, you can of course, you know, a band out of New Zealand called Devil Skin. Love that. Love their music. All Fall Down is a great song. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if a record store around me carries Tom McDonald, but I do need to start getting some of his CDs, like for real. What we got? Mongolian Throat Techno. I got into electro swing because of a random Spotify find. See? Yeah. It's the kind of thing we do. It's cold, but it still tastes good. Yeah, Mongolian Throat Techno. I thought they just called that the Who. But they're not exactly techno, are they? Because they do use a lot of traditional Mongolian instruments in their music. In fact, they're very. I think they've been classified as Mongolian folk music. They've been classified as metal. I don't think I can. I don't really think I can fault the metal classification. I really don't, because I mean, that's what they sounded like to me. Only sells on his own website. Good to know. And you know what? Hey, if all gets approved and this raise looks good, who knows? I might just start buying some of his music and ripping it to my phone. I do know that he has said this in the past, and if I can find it, I will totally do this. He has actually given permission to his fans to use his music on their Twitch streams, their live streams, their YouTube videos, etc., etc. He's so long as you credit him, you're fine. You're 100% okay. But he did give, as I understand it, blanket permission. I would have to do a little bit more research, but yeah, if I were able to use music or something like that for this channel, I might actually use some of that. And never know. You never know. The Who is more Mongolian folk metal. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. In the tribe. Cool. I will have a dude. Just throw the link in here too. You never know. Someone in here might want to check it out. I, you know, I'm not above you shilling your stuff or anyone else's, so long as it's not like those Russian bots trying to get us to all go look at porn. Got my own thanks. I actually listened to some Tom McDonald yesterday. Got my 10th, crushed my 10,000 step goal. As a matter of fact, I didn't even see how many steps I actually got in yesterday. It's probably a good idea to check that. Let's have a look. I know I usually go for like Friday night midnight walks, but oh yeah, there's Bub in the background. Okay. Okay, so yesterday was 14,323. But last week, about the same time, I'm only down about 6,000 steps. Ended up getting 3,752. That was on Wednesday. Yeah, I kind of went grocery shopping. I did a whole bunch of stuff Wednesday. Last week, yep, I can see where it all went. Pretty interesting. But hey, I got them in. That's the key thing. Getting those in is kind of important to me. It's a chance to kind of take a breather, get away from things, get out of the crib, go get some fresh air. And the last 2 times I've actually worn the wig and some contacts because I'm going out at night. Just didn't want to be recognized, didn't want to be honked at, and thank goodness no one did. When you're bald like I am, you can put on any hairstyle you want. That's the plus. Love that. And also any color you want too. Kind of one of the advantages of being a baldy. Never thought I'd actually say that, but it's true. I crushed my step goal yesterday because I was walking around just, getting a few things like notebooks full of graph paper. Got those. Going to start drawing up some dungeons pretty soon. I was going to do it last night, but I was kind of looking at a few books and I got lost in the books instead. I'm going to have to look at the dungeon generators. I know Basic Fantasy has a random dungeon generator in the back, and I think you have to roll like a 20-sider to kind of get those things. Golden Afro wig. Golden Afro wig. You know what? Golden Afro wig, polyester shirt with a butterfly collar, bell-bottom slacks, shoes shine to a mirror finish, and these shades. That is going. You know what? We just randomly generated the look for my character for Retchploitation called Apollo Jones. And yes, a white guy named Apollo Jones. Yeah. A hard-boiled cop. No one messes with the golden afro. Someone ruined his perm. They must pay. This summer, check out the action-packed sequel, Apollo Jones 2, Revenge of the Golden Afro. So, and by the way, if you're not familiar with the Wretched verse, head over to Lulu, and you know what? Matter of fact, better still, I'll just get a link and share it because I can do that. Let's see, where is Lulu today? We go from Lulu. Hello. Help me, somebody. I've been watching a lot of Orange phone pranks lately, so forgive me. I had a lot of sugar this morning. Here we go. All right, here we are. Copy that. Check out this guy's work. I'm in. Local theaters only or worldwide. We could do it worldwide. All you need is a copy of Retchploitation, which is in that list of books that I showed you right there by Miguel Ribeiro. And yeah, this is very, very cool stuff. Well, I just got an update from Goodman Games on the Dark Tower. Let's see what it says. I really meant to post this update last week, but then the Gen Con vortex appeared and sucked us all in. It was a wonderful convention. So great to see everyone in person again after so many years of virtual. For everyone who stopped by the booth or played in a game or came to a seminar or just hung out with us in the Wizard van, thank you. And they got photos of them at Gen Con. They ran games out of the back of the van. It's kind of a weird van. Let me, as a matter of fact, I'll show. Let's share screen again. Why not? Be a good idea. Share the screen. Boom. Yeah, great. Okay, share this screen. Here we go. And so right here, here. Okay, so here they are. Yeah, this was posted on Twitter, this colossal Dungeon Crawl Classics banner with all these people hanging out. And yet this van, they ran games out of the back of this van. So I said, and we did so much more. It was an amazing con and completely exhausting. I think we're slowly waking up 5 days later. So back to the Dark Tower short version. A lot is done and getting done. On the product development side, the core books, Dark Tower, The Chosen Sons of Set, are written for both 5e and DCC. I got the DCC versions. Editing is complete on the first book and is in process on the second. The stretch goal items such as patrons, additional Sons of Set, and the new adventures are commissioned. We're still mostly in the writing and editing phase, depending on which item, and it's all moving forward. The backer kit initial setup is complete. We have a draft we'll review this week and hopefully get sent out to you all by next week so we can get those add-ons moving. Had a lot of gaming stuff in the closet, in the garage, in the basement, in the office, pretty much all over the place. So I was looking for a specific piece of Judges Guild history on the request of someone when I came across this old thing. Oh, wow. I don't know what the hell that is. Wow, that's really beat up. Yes, it's exactly what it appears to be. Bob Bledsaw Jr. has always been generous to me, and gave me this original manuscript several years ago. It was in the before times, that period before the pandemic, that seems so hard to recall these days. Clearly, I forgot about it completely. It was buried in my closet under another Judges Guild artifact that was even more interesting. More on that later. In retrospect, I wish we had dived into this manuscript for this particular project, or perhaps the Janelle Big Book. I suspect we will still have time for that somewhere along the way. Examining the original manuscript and comparing it to the published version may open up even more fun options for expansions of the Dark Tower world. Good thing we now own Dark Tower. This gives us a long time horizon to do these things. So that's it for now. All right, great. That's so there's going to be more material. And I gotta say this: anytime you find new material, that's a beautiful thing. I'm not going to in the least be mad at that. But yeah, check out the link if you haven't already. That Retchploitation, that is a for those of you who don't know how this started, Miguel and Sylvia wrote their take on fantasy role-playing games. It was called Wretched Bastards. And that's exactly what you play. All right, so you create a character based around one of the 7 deadly sins. And then you unleash that character into the world. Runs just like a D&D game, kind of like BX-ish. And it has this really cool mechanic to it, which I thought was really cool. The best part about Miguel and Sylvia also have a YouTube channel called the Red Room Channel. I do recommend checking that out. They're Portuguese, so they can be a little fun to understand, but their English is good. It's just the accent. I don't have a hard time hanging with them. I can listen to them pretty much all day. They're pretty awesome. But it started with Wretched Bastards, and they did all these books for Wretched Bastards, like The Sound of Madness, The Seven Bastards, Daughters of Darkness, Furry Bastards, stuff like that. And then they did Wretched Country. And John Torres, the basic expert, did the artwork for the cover of that book. Then came Wretched Epoch, which is set around the same time period, but this time in France. And that one's interesting too. The premise of it's really cool. And then they did Wretchploitation, which was based around all these exploitation films of the 1970s, late 60s, early to mid 70s and shit like that. And I was like, I got to have that game. I got to have that game. That is cool as hell. They've done some supplements around these, and now they're reworking all the postmortem Giallo books that they did that were written with actual fucking monsters in mind. They're redoing those and pulling those into the Wretchedverse. I actually have all those Giallo books coming, so at least I'll be familiar with it. So I'll have one version I can play with actual fucking monsters. I'll have another that I can play with the Wretchedverse. The Wretchedverse is pretty much the same type of mechanic throughout, but further down you go, there's like the books get a little bit thicker, but they're inexpensive. They don't take up much room. Plus, you're just sitting there playing with tropes. And for anyone who's had to endure those lectures about, oh, this trope just never goes away.
Me. I'm watching you. Me. Don't play that way. I'm watching you. Me.
I totally made that last part up. But if you ever had to endure something like that, you're just like, I'm just going to fucking play with all the tropes. And that's what these games are, man. They are tropes. They are not ashamed of what they are. I can't. Look. I gotta say this. The Seven Bastards, which is a Wretched Bastards supplement. The very back of it has tarot mechanics. So at some point, I'm going to have to either grab a deck and dedicate it to the game or to just gameplay, or actually buy another Rider-Waite tarot deck, which I wouldn't mind doing that either. It's really, really cool. Kind of sound like Danhausen for a moment there. Interesting story. I actually got that shit from Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho told a story about the time he won undisputed world heavyweight champion. He had to beat The Rock and Stone Cold for it. If no one's heard this story, I'll tell it. It's great. Very nice, but very evil. Fucking Danhausen, man. And he's got his own YouTube channel. I thought he was just a YouTuber. I had no idea he was a wrestler. So he popped out, and I'm like, wait, what? Obviously, I haven't been paying much attention. I just have not had the time. But anyway, Jericho tells the story. He said he got told that the last match of the evening was always the hardest because by the time it's over, everyone's left. So he wins. He's got both title belts, and he's just sitting there, he's celebrating. Everything's like there's confetti falling and all that good stuff. He gets to the back. No one's there. No one's congratulating him. No one's, hey, good job. I think he said the only guy who was like, hey, good job, buddy, was this guy who was like sweeping up backstage. And so he grabbed his, he's got the two title belts. He's put them in his suitcase. He goes ahead and he gets himself changed. He has to find a hotel. He gets to the hotel, and it's the kitchen closed at like midnight, and he got there at like 11:50, and there's this guy behind the desk, and he could read his name tag, and it read Regis P. O'Rourke III. And he's like, can you imagine? He's the third guy to have to, oh no, junior. So he's like, his dad made him carry the same stupid name that he did all his life. Regis P. O'Rourke Sr., That means there's been two of them. And so he asked the guy, hey, can I get something from room service? And nope, kitchen's closed. And he hands him like this this Domino's pizza menu. He's like, "Are you sure? Because it's like 10 minutes." He's like, "Nope, sorry, kitchen's closed. Got to order from here." Okay. So he gets his room. He gets up in there. He lays the two belts on the bed. He's just kind of looking at them. And a little while later, he gets a phone call to his room. And, "Your pizza's here." He's like, "Oh, yeah, just send him up to my room." "Nope, got to come down and get it." It's like, ah. So he grabs some cash. He goes downstairs, pays for his pizza. He's got his pizza now. Oh no, he got the pizza, went back up to his room, had to come out for something else, and he got locked. No, he had the pizza, but he got locked out of his room. He didn't have his key with him. So he goes downstairs to Regis P. O'Rourke Jr. And he's like, "Can I get you to let me in my room?" "Not without ID." His ID's in the room. And he finally convinces Regis to go up with him. And he's like, "Hold on. I have to go check this out. Is there anything in the room that can identify you as yours?" He goes, "Yeah, there are 2 World Heavyweight Championship belts on the bed that read Chris Jericho, bitch. Get in there." So he goes in. A few minutes later, he comes out. Story checks out. "Go ahead, go in. I'm watching you." He said, I just made that last part up. So he opens the pizza, puts it down on the bed. Something happened. The pizza fell over, topping side down on the carpet. And he had to pick this thing up. And he said, "There it is. Cold, dusty pizza, 2 World Heavyweight Championship belts, no hookers and blow for Jericho." And of course, Regis P. O'Rourke Jr. Oh, let's see what we got. He's in a tag team with Hook, Taz, his kid. Their nickname, hold on to your hats, Hookhausen. Actually, I saw Eric Rowan, or Eric Redbeard, his name is now, and he was in a tag team last night with him, and they called it Beardhausen. I was like, that's super original there. What do we got here? What do we got going on here? Connection's unstable. I am not on Wi-Fi. It's probably my VPN. Yeah, whatever. So it's I got this little Wi-Fi signal thing up here next to my counter telling me, "Hey, your signal's unstable." Well, no shit. It's probably my VPN. So blame that. So yeah, Hookhausen. I'm still struggling to figure out what exactly Danhausen is, because I know he tried to spring his curse on some guy who just looked bored, and the guy like shoulder checked him on the way out. I was like, "What the hell?" Let's see. Just any name, add Hausen to it, and there's your tag team name. Well, that's true. I wonder if he'll ever form a tag team with Jericho, Jerihausen. Or that'd be Danico. I don't know. Either one sounds pretty interesting. I don't know that many people in AEW just yet, but he's very good, but very evil. That's it. So that's his entire gimmick. Okay. I can get by. Simple concepts. I do love simple concepts. But yeah, here we are. We're in the last 11 minutes of this, and I was actually going to make a point with all this horror game stuff, and completely forgot to. But yeah, this horror game that I'm creating, it's one where I want players to walk away with, like, what the fuck was that? I really want. I don't. Obviously have fun. Obviously have fun. Especially if you decide you want to take and you can take the game in any direction. It's not going to be one extreme or the other. You can take your evil character and make a redemption arc, or you could just make him flat fucking evil. You can play the good guy. You can play an anti-hero. You can do that kind of thing. I really don't want to put character alignment into it at first. I think you could choose an alignment, but you have to kind of decide the morality of your own character. And your alignment will change based on the decisions you make, I think that's one of those things I kind of put a note in there. He's one of those indie darlings. I don't know much about him. I don't either. Like I said, I thought he was just a YouTuber because I saw him on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. It's crazy. I saw the makeup and I was just like, the fuck? I thought maybe he was in a band or something like that. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, if you got any suggestions for titles for this horror game or whatever, like I said, I want to really heavily inspired by Hellraiser, Jacob's Ladder, Hellraiser Inferno, Evil Dead, House of a Thousand Corpses, stuff like that. But here's the thing: it's going to be the settings, the adventures that for it. I'm planning on having them very just mundane, real world, with sprinklings of the surreal and the weird and just crazy shit happening like right toward the end of the adventure. And I don't know whether I'm gonna make it for like 1 shot, 3 shot, anything like that. Just if you got any ideas, throw them at me. I will be more than happy to credit you with the idea. I'll write I'm writing it all in a notebook, so your name is going to go right next to it. So it's a good way to get credit in the book. So we got, speaking of YouTubers and wrestling, Logan Paul is 2-0 on The Miz and actually got an offer to work for the WWE. Suggestion, the line. Oh, like sort of the lines we cross. That kind of thing, Felberg? If that's the case, I hope I'm understanding that right. But speaking of YouTubers, Logan Paul. I would love to say I care, but I don't. I just don't. And look, this just hear me out on this, okay? I come from like the 1980s, 1990s, and there was a point right up until the late 90s where kayfabe was seriously protected. So Mr. T comes to WrestleMania, what was it, 2 or 3? And he's not going to go over. Hulk Hogan is. He's going to be doing a lot of assisting to Hulk Hogan. He wants to do that kind of thing, but they were like, no. That's not the way it works. And Piper tried to explain it to him. I think that's what instigated their rivalry. And that rivalry carried on. There was animosity between the two of those until Piper's dying day. There were times where Vader and Undertaker were being interviewed, and some poor reporter asked, or some poor TV host asked Vader if it was fake, and Vader not only flipped his table, but flipped his shit on him on live TV, and the Undertaker just kind of sat there like Undertaker didn't stop him. So I have a bit of an issue. Celebrities coming into pro wrestling has always been a thing, but I have a real problem with them being like the main attraction. I just don't think that I don't think that's such a good idea. That's just personal opinion. Let's see what else we got here. Unspeakable Oath. That could be one. Cursed Spirits. Shadowed Need. You know what? I'm going to put all of those in my notebook as soon as this is done. I'm putting all those in my notebook under your name. And as I get this all down, I'll definitely credit you with that. I'm thinking those could be names of adventures. Did I get that first one right, though? Just let me know. Shadowed Need sounds like a boy. The places you can go with something like that. And I'm looking at these names, and they do sound like almost like if you just took the names and then chose a direction, that would be kind of cool. One of the things that I think like people, yes, the first one was right. All right, cool, excellent. I'm so happy for that one. I'm thinking I'll add to that just a little bit and just still credit you with that title and just call it, The Lines We Cross. And, the thing is, this is not the game that I'm going to be doing. So it's really only two people are kind of here right now. I know Venger likes to go full anti-woke, and I'm kind of taking a little nudge at him with the 10 Candles book, Selected Scenes from the End of the World, because I'm adding the adrenaline card. And the adrenaline card is an optional GM rule, which says, you get them to write down on an index card every phobia they have, But here's the thing. It's just a little jab. It's nothing serious. You're telling your players, this is every phobia your character has. So can it include your own? Yes, absolutely. 100%. It can include your own. Like personally, if I'm in that game, I'm writing down snakes because long tubular body, no appendages, moves faster than I do, and can climb trees better than I can. That is unnatural. I don't give a shit. I fucking hate snakes. So, you throw something like that at your players, and then you kind of use it against them. Something like that. And it's meant to kind of, take the horror and turn it up to 10, and then there's the turn it up to 11, and this is where you can get extreme with it if you want to. Again, completely optional rules. Do you have to do that? No, absolutely not. You can just leave it on the table. Because it's a game of tragic horror. This one, I think, is going to be more a game of personal extreme horror. So there will be a little PEH in there. But, okay, yeah. I still have my mouse over it, so it was still cloudy there. Anyway, last 2.5 minutes here. Anybody got anything they want to throw out there? I'm totally going to leave the floor up to you for these last 2 minutes. If you got something, start typing now, or if you want to come on, we'll go ahead and bring you on, and you can just say it. Ooh, Stein, throw your Patreon link for the tribe into the chat. Definitely throw that up for a couple seconds there. Taxation is theft. What's interesting? Grim Jim. I love the games that this guy creates. I do. I love the games that he has a hand in creating. But he started in on something about that, and I just said, well, my paycheck just dropped. How did I get paid nothing? If I'm working for free, that's a new one on me. I had no idea. And then he says, well, you're not getting paid what you're worth. And keep this in mind. I'm sitting there. I'm on my phone when I'm reading this, and I'm like, yeah, you're not kidding about that. And then I'm not even kidding you. Right after that, I get the promotion offer. After telling him, yeah, but I could change that at any point in time. They're not keeping me here. I'm not here. Like, I could say, well, I'm here against my will. That would be a lie. That would totally be a lie. Obviously I'm there because it's working for me at the moment. Even if I'm like at my peak frustration level with something, and I've been pushing to kind of get more money, and here was the opportunity, and I jumped on it. Not immediately, I needed at least a few hours to think about it, which I got, and I consulted with some people, and, thank you to all of you that I talked to. It was mostly private conversations. Thank you, all of you, for that, because that's, y'all really helped me out in a big way. Y'all gave me a lot to consider. And, it was kind of one of the driving impetus, to making this, video. You're a wagey, face it. Yep, sure am. So am I. But at least I have the final say in the kitchen. That is true. And now I'm going to be in a little bit more of a position of authority. So yeah, will everything be my final say? Well, in the moment, yes. So I'm kind of thinking of this as I'm running a game. These are my players, and I'm really rooting for my players. I'm going to be doing basically the job I'm at now is a 5th edition game. Only I'm not throwing the entitled customers at them. I'm just supporting them, and as long as they make my job easier, I'll go window to wall for them. That's how I'm going to be. That's just the kind of guy I am. So, and I also imagine, Stein, you're pretty much a beast in the kitchen. I'll bet you could come up with some really, really good shit. So, big boss man, not quite. But if they cross me, they're gonna do hard time. I don't even know if that Ray Trailer impression was accurate, but I know that shades are. Because on me, let's face it, on me, like, I think these aviators look cool, and I bought them where I work. I think they look great, but like, most people could pull these off. Like, they put these on, and they could stand there like this, and a Razor Fist could pull these off better than I can, because on him they look like, metal version of Cobra, bitch. On me, they look like, excuse me, sir, do you know why I pulled you over? I look like a cop. I mean, on Keanu Reeves, they look great. On me, so yeah. Thank you very much. I try to do that. I really do kind of take that cyberpunk thing to heart. Doesn't matter whether you're succeeding or failing, as long as you look cool doing it. And if you failed, make it look like you did. Make it look like you intended for that to happen. So, totally meant for that to happen. But oh fuck, what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, so I did let him know that I can leave this at any time, which is true. Would it be an ideal situation? No, absolutely not. But right after that, here's a promotional opportunity. You interested? And I was kind of like, I don't know. What are we talking? And when I heard about the pay, that brought me from not really, which there's yes, there's no, there's maybe, and there was like not really. And then when they told me what the pay was like, I was like, that's looking like a hard maybe. And then after just consulting with a few people, namely my mom, my dad, some of my friends, I shot him a text and I was like, how quickly would you need it? He said, as soon as possible. And I was like, well, as we say in my RPG circles, let's fucking go. And he went, oh shit, really? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay. There was a lot to consider, and you guys helped me out with that, and I think I want to close this out. That's Razor Fist. He's in a league of his own. That is true. That is the absolute coolest thing about Razor Fist. And I gotta say, I agree with him on about 98.99999% of what he says. And there have been things that he has told me through his videos that I'm still kind of like either on the fence about, or I'm not quite in agreement. I need a little more. Like his take on the public domain thing. I'm not entirely certain I agree with it. But I'm suspending judgment. I'm open to hearing the rest of his argument on that. So I probably have to listen to it a few more times in order to get it. That way I can make a firm decision one way or the other. But yeah, Razor Fist definitely in a league of his own. Definitely a fan. They ever start? I don't know if I could. I think they make Razor Force T-shirts. I need to probably get one because yeah, I'm a big nut for his channel. Obviously, I subscribe. Why not? Obviously, I'm following him on Twitter and liking and retweeting a lot of his stuff. So you can tell I'm a fan. I don't know if I could do a proper Razor Fist impression though. I think the wig I have doesn't quite do his hair justice, but I know he tried his hand at a Dennis Miller impression, and I didn't think it quite hit the mark. But it was a good attempt. It was a very good attempt. But anyway, what I really wanted to close out this video with was, whether you've been rocking with us from day one, or whether you just joined us in the last 2 days, 2 months, 2 weeks, whatever, 2 hours, 2 minutes. I just want to thank everyone for being here. Whether you're watching live right now, whether you're watching the replay of this later, I really wanted to thank you guys for being here, for supporting the channel, for getting the word out there, and also for coming in for private readings and things like that, and just coming and chilling out with me on these live streams, because this is actually kind of my favorite part of it. Just these live streams where we get to chill and hang out. And yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys have been so awesome, and I don't think I'll ever be able to repay the debt. I know this isn't like millions of subscribers. I don't have gold and silver buttons on the wall behind me back here, but you know what? If they come, they come. If not, I'm still having the time of my life. And yeah, I'm a wagey, but God damn it, I'm probably the closest thing. I want to be a rocker boy, but I know in the world of cyberpunk, I'm totally a media, and I'm okay with that. So a lot of us are. A lot of us have been becoming that, and I think we threatened the corporate media enough to make them start screaming for us to get under the thumb. And I think once we've scared them, yeah, that's an accomplishment to me. And we all did that in one way or another. We all had a hand in it. So some more than others, but yeah, hey, even without the people contributing that little bit they could, I don't think it would have had as much impact. So, and me, I'm just, this channel is more for tarot readings, not really so much for expressing political sentiments, which I express mine a lot on Twitter, and mainly because I got tired of shutting up all the goddamn time. So, if you're going to be loud and obnoxious, guess what? And expect it in kind. See, the tribe will always have your back. Thank you. And, I know I've been a little absent lately, just been seriously busy. And, of course, these developments with work, there's a lot I don't tell you guys. I just don't tell people that because I'm not keen on advertising every little thing. There are some things I think, probably just best unsaid. That's all. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for having your tea or your coffee with me. And I know I moved that camera around quite a bit. It's going to be some people, man, that made it unwatchable. Meant to do that. Kind of happened after I showed you my bookcase. All right. All right, guys. So wraps it up for me this week. Tentatively, same time next week. So next Saturday, the 27th. Holy shit, the 27th. Okay, so the 27th, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern time. What I try to do that so I could get all my European friends in here, because I know it's much later for you than it is for me. And yeah, we'll chat again. If something comes up between now and then, I will announce it. So if the schedule starts getting a little weird, don't worry. I've got you. Okay. In the meantime, I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. as always, shine on.